All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome into Not Trust the Tape, unless it's called Trust the Tape. I'm Jeff Cavanaugh, alongside my friend Bryan Broaddus from 105.3 The Fan. And Dallas Cowboys got the shit kicked out of them. They got destroyed again, and it was a lot of fun. I had a great time with the Terrence Steele play. I thought that he was going to really scoop that thing up, turn the corner, go score a touchdown. Didn't work out for him. That's my favorite play. How you doing, Bryan?
I'm doing well. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, I didn't expect him to win. Expected Cooper Rush to play a little bit better in that football game from the standpoint of, having a week to kind of prepare, coming off the bench against Atlanta. He did some pretty good things. He put the ball, in CeeDee Lamb's hands down the field. You kind of felt like that maybe they were going to try a little bit more of that. But it didn't work out that way. I will say this, for having to make a spot start, the left tackle, Awesome Richards played well. He gave up the one sack, and that was really the only time that his feet stopped. He got overextended, and he had bad body position. Other than that, a pretty solid game from the young man. We've kind of been waiting to see where he's at. Is he a guard? Is he a tackle? But having to get on the field, for Tyler Guyton, and there's going to be some questions about Tyler Guyton and, was he healthy enough to play? Did he want to play and all that? There's a lot of things kind of swirling around in the air on that.
What do you mean, Bryan?
You know exactly what I'm talking about, Jeffrey.
Oh, okay.
Why don't you say it? You do a pregame show too. You got sources.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See, that's the thing. There's always going to be questions about, is it hurt are you hurt or are you injured? And can you play through things? And that's what it takes for some young folk to have to kind of, kind of understand that. I'm not alone in this. Brad Sham in our pregame show, when we interviewed Brad, he was kind of talking about Guyton and, what needs to be done. I asked 2 or 3 people myself, and kind of the same vibe. So yeah, it's a learning experience for a lot of these guys. I'm not calling Tyler Guyton a coward or anything like that. I'm just saying that, you're in week 10 of an NFL season. You might have to fight through some things, but I'm saying for a guy that had to get a spot start, nice job by Awesome Richard showing up and playing like, we thought he was capable of playing.
Okay, so if Brad Sham talked about it too, then
he did.
We could do even more hints, because I talked to somebody about
Sure
his.
You did, Jeff. You just need to say it on these shows, man. You don't need to be like, this. What people watch these tune in for. They tune in.
I don't like being reckless. Like,
it's not reckless, Jeffrey. If you got 2 or 3 people talking about it, it's not reckless.
I would say that there are questions, and were even before he was drafted, about how Tyler Guyton deals with adversity. I've heard that even at the Senior Bowl, when he was being asked to line up on a different side and one-on-ones weren't going great, that there was multiple times that you had to tell him, no, please stay. And he might not have even wanted to stay. That's just what you hear.
No, this is a tough game, and things are going wrong for this football team, and they need their young players to step up. I mean, poor Carson's out there. He can't defend a double move right now to save his life. Teams are going after these guys, and when it's going bad, it's going bad. But the whole idea is to, hold on to the rope, as they, all these cliches, hold on to the rope, keep going, keep fighting, keep doing what you have to do. I thought yesterday you wasted a really good defensive effort. If you look at overall how the half went, and it's unfortunate, Overshown could have had 3 sacks in the first half. And unfortunately, he missed Hurts on the one time, and then that gave up a touchdown, but that's these young guys. You got guys out there playing really, really hard. They're just not having a lot of success. It's not translating into wins, but, keep holding on to the rope, or that's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, I think after that one, I kind of looked at it and like going into half, if Zeke doesn't fumble or if you can figure out a way to finish the next drive, like you actually had a chance to be beating the Eagles at halftime. But no part of me ever thought that was actually going to be what happened.
No,
Like over the course
no,
of 60 minutes, I knew who was going to pull away from who.
no, absolutely. You did. And unfortunately on the, talking about another young guy on the Zeke fumble, I mean, they blocked that thing pretty damn well on the point of attack, but Span Ford's going to get called for holding. There's a flag on the ground. So it's not going to be, ball at the 1 with a chance to score. It's going to be ball at the, at the ball at the 13 because, a young guy is in the game and, they're asking a lot of these guys and some of these guys are delivering and some of them aren't. And that's the hard decisions you have to make. And maybe they're not hard decisions. Maybe they're not hard. Maybe when, if there's a new coaching staff in here, the front office we know is not going to change. So, and a lot of people say, well, Dan Broaddus, that's problem number 1. That's line 1. And I'm going to say, okay, it's line 1, but let's work on things that we can change.
Yeah.
I know in the post-game show, I talked about possibility of Brian Schottenheimer becoming the play caller. If I'm Jerry Jones, and I was very blunt about this. Because you have to be blunt and honest, and it doesn't you're not in this business of making people feel good. Unfortunately, there's some bad dudes in this game, and I consider myself one of them when it comes to this. But I'm not going to sit there and watch them continually make mistakes. But if I'm Jerry Jones, I asked Mike McCarthy, should we consider a change at play caller? Could we be different? With Trey Lance, could we be different with the offense? Could we run more design runs? You saw the design run that went for 11 yards, quarterback draw. Next plays, though, you have the interception. Unfortunately, that's what's going to happen with Trey Lance right now. Tolbert, young guy, got to get off the ball, Tolbert. Can't let Ringo just ride you the whole way down the field. And Trey, you can't just throw it down there thinking that Tolbert's going to win. There's a lot to this. And so if I'm Jerry Jones, I'm asking Mike McCarthy, is there some things we could change? I'm not going to change the coach, but can we change you and the play calling and all that? That's a tough ask right now because Mike is fighting for his job. He's fighting to win games. It's a tough ask. But if he says no, and I'm Jerry Jones, I would consider firing him right there on the spot then. That's the harsh reality of being 3-6 right now.
Yeah. Well, and I just want whichever one's a worse play caller to call the plays because, Brian, we got a new goal. And damn well
Jeff,
we got a new goal.
It's just keep playing games. You're not going to be good enough with Cooper Rush playing at quarterback right now. If they keep going with Cooper Rush, and people say, I didn't recognize that Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush, like you started the show with the fumble, that Steele tried to pick up and, they fumbled, they moved it around and it ended up being
favorite play of the game. My guy thought he was about to get his shine on.
Cooper Rush had an opportunity to throw the shallow cross. He had an opportunity to get the ball underneath there and to Turpin. And, he doesn't feel Steele getting beat inside. He doesn't even feel it or see it. And he's holding it there. And I'm not saying he had an opportunity to, but, the one thing that Jerry Jones kept telling us was, what do you like about Cooper Rush? Gets rid of the ball quick. Makes this quick decisions. Gets rid of the ball quick. Yesterday, I don't know. Cooper Rush looked like he had never started an NFL game yesterday, the way he played. And I'm not putting it all on him because there were some other breakdowns as well. You don't separate in routes. You don't stick with the running game. There's just so many things that you could just address. But my point, Jerry Jones, go in, tell Mike McCarthy, hey, maybe we need to think about a different form. Maybe you take a step back and see what Schottenheimer could do with this offense. And if he says no, then I consider firing him. I really would,
Doesn't that fall in line with the Jerry things, though? Like the things that Jerry's not going to do or just the things that Jerry's not going to do? And I think a coach getting a paycheck for not coming to work is just not.
This guy is under contract for what, 9 more weeks? 9 more weeks.
I just wonder if he's going to do it the same way that Garrett did it, where everybody knows he's fired, and for 3 weeks.
Oh, and hang around his. No, Mike's probably. Mike's probably doing what I did in Jacksonville, knowing he was on the way out, and he's probably taking 2 or 3 things out of his office every night when he goes home.
Yeah.
That way, when it comes time to, when Tom Coughlin walked in there, and goes, "Oh, well, you're fired," and the director of security, Skip Richardson, went with me to my office, and Skip goes. Tom goes, "Go with him, make sure that he, packs up the right way." And I just kind of chuckled to myself a little bit. I didn't laugh in front of Tom, but I was laughing. I walked in my office. There was one notebook on the desk, and I looked at Skip and I go, "That's it. That's my only notebook." He goes, "That's it?" I go, "Yeah, that's it." Yeah. And he goes, "Oh, okay." And I go, "Hey, best of luck to you, Skip. Hang in there, brother." And sure enough, Skip's still there, by the way, as the security director for Jacksonville. But every night I took two things out of my office, knowing damn good and well there was going to be a day I wasn't going to be there anymore.
That's great. That's just smart. That's good.
That's knowing the surroundings. And I think Mike McCarthy knows what his surroundings are right now. I think he knows what he's up against. He doesn't have his quarterback. The offense is really, really struggling. They need to do something different. They need to turn it into a college offense with Trey Lance. That's my opinion.
Yeah, Trey needs to play now. There's no rushing
teams.
point.
Yeah, make teams have to defend read option football all day. Do what Alabama did to LSU, my beloved LSU Tigers.
Listen, that's your team's fault, brother. Everybody knows how to defend that now, except your school. Okay.
Nobody knows. I'm just telling you, man. There are ways to run the football. Look what the Ravens do. Look, this is another game. How about this? This is the third game this year at home that an opponent threw the ball 20 times or less.
Hell yeah.
Think about
Hell
that.
Yeah.
Dallas leads the league in Dallas leads the league in not facing drop back passes. There's a reason why. But, like I say, I think your defense, I think Parsons gave you a little jump yesterday. Overshown, as we all know. I mean, other than the one missed tackle that could have, Eagles didn't have a timeout, that could have run the clock down. I mean, they might have ran their field goal team on it quick, kicked a field goal right before half. It's unfortunate, but man, I mean, I thought defensively, let me tell you what, when you throw on the tape, and if you're interested, watch Mozzie Smith play. Mozzie Smith actually played like an NFL defensive tackle. We haven't seen Mozzie Smith play like an NFL defensive tackle since the Giants game.
One game. He's had one NFL game. Now you tell me he's had 2 now?
He's had 2 now. He's had 2. The times he got to play, he threw Cam Jurgens around a couple of times, and it looked like a NFL defensive tackle. And I was happy for him. And I put him down in my notes. I'm like, oh, geez, probably 3 times I put in my notes, Mozzie Smith making plays. So if you take a peek at the tape, you're going to see number 58, and he's going to be played with some violence with his hands and getting rid of Cam Jurgens. And maybe Cam Jurgens is an awful center. I think he's okay. But, he ain't the Kelsey guy. But
he's a little light in the booty. He's a little light in the booty.
Yeah.
Can I tell you the 2 questions, the 2 most important questions of the day for Bryan Broaddus?
Sure. What do you got?
The most important questions of the day. Number 1,
mm-hmm.
Can this Cowboy team lose to the Giants?
Man, the Giants, I had them in my survivor pool for 105.3, the Fan, against Carolina in Munich yesterday.
Yeah.
They get the game to overtime, and they fumble. They get the ball to start overtime, and they fumble on the first play.
That was great. Tyrone Tracy did a perfect job of tanking. He showed I'm a young player that can play, but I'll also make sure we get this draft.
Yeah, he was also hurt, and then they brought him back in, so maybe something had to do with that. I don't know.
My only questions are, can they lose to the Giants, and can they lose to the Panthers? Because outside of that, I think it's no problem. This team's going 5-13, or 5-12, but can I get this thing to 3-14 is what I'm looking for.
Oh man, I tell you get that thing to 3-14. You're talking what, top 3 pick, right?
Yeah, buddy.
Who else is trying to win games? That might be who else is in this thing? Carolina's trying to win games because they got a new head coach.
The other teams kind of have either a coach or a quarterback or whatever. We're running out there without a quarterback, so you've got a chance. I think every other game on the schedule they could get blown out. It's
Oh, sure.
just, can I lose to the Giants and can I lose to the Panthers?
Oh no, you can naturally just lose games, but
Yeah.
but I like I say, those guys in the front office, they don't want to hear. You're always trying to win every game. I remember the miseries of those 5-11 teams, and let me tell you this: um, we were bad personnel wise losing games when we were in the early 2000s. This team is not bad personnel wise in a lot of areas and losing games. That just shows you kind of where they're at right now. I mean, we didn't have a quarterback, and they don't have a quarterback right now. We'll see. I mean, maybe Lance and something. Maybe they can. But I just think play the games. You're naturally probably going to lose the games by at home you're going to lose the games by 20, and on the road you're going to lose them by 5 or 6.
Okay, so you ready? Who's the top wide receiver in the draft? Is it Tet or is it Travis?
I'll tell you what, I watched both of them.
I watched Tet tape during the game yesterday.
What did you think about? I'll tell you what, his size is impressive. His ability to catch the ball on the move is really, really good. The thing about, I think that when you talk about that kid, from Colorado, when you talk about Hunter, he just looks so explosive to me.
I like guys that you can't stay in front of. It's like Malik Neighbors with the Giants, like the guy who is just the most explosive mover. That you can't cover that.
I think McMillan at Arizona is a really good player, and Travis Hunter. I'm playing Travis Hunter at wide receiver. I'm sorry, I mean, I love he does one of my favorite things that cornerbacks do, and that's carry routes. He's really good at carrying routes. But I just have a feeling, man, he is going to present problems for people trying to cover him on the move.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't know, but I think you could, what will be fascinating is, if you have a top five pick, where they go, because I think they can go in any direction. I know I watched Mason Graham, the defensive tackle from Michigan. I don't know if I would take him if I had, Hunter or McMillan on the board. I don't think I would take Mason Graham, defensive tackle, myself. But that's the only
Trey down gets to ride, Brian. Let somebody else.
Like I said, there's names. I know that Dane Brugler's top 50 is coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be a good time to get started then.
No, that's what I'm saying. I've already looked at 4 players, 2 Michigan guys, which is crazy already. But here we are.
Fan base ain't having it, Brian. You're not allowed to.
No, I know.
Don't you say
Mason Graham. Now, this is what you got to think about fan base. This is the Wink Martindale scheme that you saw at the Giants, where it's kind of a pressure scheme, blitz schemes and all that. Different the way that they play. It's no longer read and react with their defensive linemen, so you can actually see Mason Graham coming off the ball and then being disruptive, as opposed to two-gap stuff where you extend, look inside, look outside, and then go get the ball, like we've seen from Chris Jenkins, Mozzie Smith, those guys the last couple of years. It's going to be a little bit different look when you look at these Michigan Cats.
Shout out to Swayze in the super chat. This team's back to the Dave Campo years. Imagine paying $65 million a year for Quincy Carter. We're about to have a top 10 pick. Can't get a quarterback.
And I was part of the Dave Campo administration. Talent on this team is better than what we had. Much, much, much better than what we had.
They got top end talent.
Oh, no, they do. Not the depth we had. Like
right.
our talent was Dat Wynn and people like that. That was who we had, and Dexter Coakley. We were trying to do some things. I mean, Larry Allen was like in the latter part of his career, so it was kind of like watching Zach Martin play now. There were a couple of times in this game where Zach Martin didn't get to the second level like we've always seen Zach Martin do. Kind of got knocked around a little bit. That's been a problem. I think Zach Martin's probably playing a little banged up right now. I think he's playing, he's not been able to practice, and he's dealing with the back. He's dealing with the shoulder. He's fighting through a lot of things. But, it's kind of that team in the early 2000s didn't have the overall talent that this team has to be losing games.
One of those most talented guys, CeeDee Lamb, last night, I thoroughly enjoyed his post game because I I think Dak is a great guy to have as the starting quarterback if you're the owner, general manager, because he's going to generally just say all the right things that you want a player to say.
Yeah.
And CD kind of doesn't give a damn.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed his curtain stuff last night when they were asking about the ball. He's like, I couldn't see the ball. The
Couldn't see the ball.
sun. And I was like, are you in favor of curtains? And he said it so strongly. He goes, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Goes, have you ever told Jerry that? And he's like, y'all are going to do it for me.
You're doing it for me.
That's what I'm doing right now.
I will say this on the play. If you watch it from the end zone copy, I think that Cooper Rush wants to go to I think he wants to go to Ferguson. He wants to
Do
go
you
to
think that maybe he knew both were open and his muscles just threw it between both open people?
It's hard to say. If he goes to Lamb right off the jump, he throws the ball into the shadows where he has a chance. The longer that Lamb had to run when Rush came back to the middle of the field, Lamb was already into the sun. I mean,
that is such a thing that should not be a thing.
Deep
like,
in
Brian,
the sun.
you're giving me real analysis, but it's stupid that's analysis.
Let me tell you what. When you watch the end zone copy,
so stupid.
Alex Kemp is the official, right? And this is on the sack fumble that Dallas gets in that end of the field. They get Parsons. It's the sack fumble. Alex Kemp in the end zone copy has got both hands. The official has got both hands on the top of his cap as the play is going on to try and see. I've stood down there. Have you ever stood down there when that?
I've been there when the sun. Oh yeah.
Holy geez, you can't see anything, and I don't know if it's different when the doors are open. I don't know if that's.
So does that mean you should make sure that you just pick direction and make sure that in the second quarter you're going the other way?
We'll take the sun. I mean,
yeah.
I would be really interested. You know, in Jerry's post game comments, it was like, we know where the sun is.
Yeah, so you want your team to not pick the ball or defer. You want your team to pick
it's like,
the sun.
yeah, we, you know, if you're if you're one of these game captains for the Cowboys, you look at, you know, the Alex Kemp flips, President Bush flips the coin, and you call it's you win, you get tails. What's your choice? We'll take the sun.
I think you should let CD be a captain and let him do that, because he's the one who clearly is willing to talk about crap. Just be like, we'll take the sun, and the refs can be like, I don't understand. You're be like, well, our owner built a stadium that runs east to west, and it's the only stadium in the entire world that runs east to west. Everyone knows the sun exists. But our guy made it go the sun's direction, and so he doesn't.
I don't know if you open the doors. I don't know if you open the doors that the sunlight plays better. I haven't been down there. I've been down there.
I mean, I know if it's not a football game, they'd put a curtain up. I know that. That's what they do, and it's very possible. And I cannot believe how absurdly egotistical Jerry is, that the mere mention of, he's like, well, then why don't we just tear the stadium down? It's like, because I was giving you a solution that already exists that you use at every non-football event. It exists. What is wrong with you? That your ego is this effing big, and you think it looks so effing pretty that the sun's trickling through that you let it affect your product. You built an over $1 billion building the wrong direction, and know that the sun is a problem inside that arena, which is why you own curtains, and they go up for everything that's not football. But you would rather have it be cute on TV, seeing the sun come in, than let CD catch a touchdown. You weirdo. Yeah. I can't understand.
I totally get. Well, on the play, I think Cooper Rush wanted to throw the ball to Ferguson first.
If he couldn't see it either, I bet.
Yeah, if he didn't, if he hits Lamb off the jump, it is going to be a touchdown.
Yeah, you just got to make sure you hit him before he gets to the sun.
He was in the shade.
What a weirdo.
He was in the shade. If he throws the ball in the shade, and if he throws the ball entering the sun, he's got a chance. It's when he gets to the middle of the sun that CeeDee Lamb is like he's on the sun.
That is not supposed to be a part of the scouting report of a play. Well, you got to remember now.
Watch me. I tested it on our audience first today, is what I did, and I'm going to say it again.
No. I think it draws the attention of Jerry in the most funny way. That somebody who's really breaking down the tape is like, well, look, if you, and we're talking about the sun.
Well, I can send you the picture. I can send you the
Oh,
picture.
I know what it looks like.
I can send you the picture because he is in the shadows, open. He is entering the sun, open. He's on the middle of the sun, open, but he can't see anything while he's on the middle of the sun.
I get it. Yes, Three Stooges, Rogers and Chat. Like it's like Larry, Curly, and Moe were like, put the stadium up, and somebody's like, wait, it's going the wrong direction, right? And it's like, I don't care. Like what? But anyway.
Yeah.
What was the other thing? There's another thing. Oh yeah, Micah got himself in trouble in the post game too. People think that he hates the head coach now, and then this morning he was tweeting out that people are twisting his words, and I think that that's fun. And I just want you guys to know that that's where we are in the Cowboy season now. We are now in the.
Well, Jerry said some things about Dak. I think that people took the wrong way as well. That he felt
he's like we sucked with him. What are you talking about? And it's like, well, Jerry, there's a difference between not winning games and getting blown out sometimes, and 1.9 yards per passing attempt.
Yeah.
That had to be an NFL record. Surely nobody's ever thrown.
Oh no, I was part of a game. No, I was part of a game in 2000. If you go back and look on Christmas night, we played in Tennessee, and Randall Cunningham didn't want to start the game. He didn't want to play, and so we had to start Anthony Wright.
Okay.
If you would look up.
Oh, I'm on it. Yeah,
Christmas
here.
Yeah.
Let me see. I just want to see. Did he
look
get
at the
under
stats for that
yards?
day?
Did he get under 2 yards per attempt? Because that's incredible. That's not even doable. Hold on, I'm scrolling down. Here we go. Anthony Wright. Oh, he did about the exact same. Technically, he had less yards per attempt. 20 attempts, 35 yards.
Yeah.
And 2 picks, though. Rush didn't throw 2 picks.
No, he did not. Rush
did not. Beast. How about that?
It just really strange game for Rush. I mean, he just did not, we've seen Rush play much better in that game, and he looked really awful. I don't know. Yeah, terrible. I don't know. Yeah.
Awful.
Poor.
How much would visors on the helmets help out there with the sun? I think that would be funny.
I think
the game with but I'm thinking like visor like you would wear, not
yeah.
Like I think players need to do bits now to protest the things that they think are silly. I think that would be awesome. You just have CD go out there with something strapped to his helmet to try to block the sun.
He just had a bucket hat on the top of his helmet with it folded down. Yeah.
He's wearing a Guardian helmet, but it's also like, if you're going farming and you have that sloped.
What you could do. No, what he could do is actually, when you get down on that end of the field, the Cowboys, Bucky Buchanan and the equipment staff, Mike McCarthy, they give the Cowboys like fighter pilot helmets where they hit that thing and the shield comes down over the eyes.
Yeah.
So like when you ever see a fighter pilot, they have that shield, they pop up and it stay, and then it's clear, and then they hit a button and it goes whoop, down over their eyes.
Yeah, you strap in when you get into the sun zone.
So if you're going, I guess that would be going east, right? Would that be going west? Is it?
It'd be going, so it comes east.
You're going away from west, the sun, right? Or you're going into the sun. You're going west, right? You're going west.
Hold on, it rises in the east and sets in the west.
Yeah.
Which means it goes up, which means when it's setting in the west, it's shining at you when you are going to the west.
So west, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So you're going west. You're going west. All right, Bucky, get the fighter pilot helmets. We're going west. And everybody puts them on, and boop, we click them down, and the little shields come over our eyes, so we can.
That would be amazing.
Catch balls.
Marcus is in the super chat. Do we have a QB this year or next? The answer is yeah. Dak is your quarterback next year.
Let me ask you this though. I mean, the season is what it is, but do you think you're going to find? Okay, you're picking top 5.
Mm-hmm.
When you really dive into this, is there going to be a quarterback? Just humor me a little bit here.
I can humor you easily. Quarterback's the most important position in the sport. If you think you have a franchise one on the board, go ahead and pick him.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you feel like there's going to be a quarterback on the board at 5 that's better than the one you currently have? That's my question.
I don't think it's impossible. I'm worried about Dak physically now. I think this year, even when he wasn't hurt yet, it was like, the athleticism is gone. He can read a defense. He can deliver a good football, but mechanically, I don't think he looked great. And it was just, there's a lot of iffy stuff. So if you've got the opportunity and you don't think you're going to have that opportunity again,
it'd be just like Dallas too. Well, I mean, okay, we've seen teams eat some, man, but this would be the start of the contract.
This would be a record. I mean, Denver ate $100 and something million for Russ. You'd be doing kind of the same thing, right? But no, I think you would keep him on the team, right? And you would play out 1 year with the rookie watching or whatever.
Right. And then
you would go to Dak, who has a no trade clause, and you'd be like, so do you want to waive that and pick where we send you, or do you want to get paid to watch someone else play?
Yeah.
You could do that.
Yeah.
Right? David, people are saying Dak is not really hurt because he's walking on the sidelines. I'll play devil's advocate for a sec. Did Jerry low-key bench Dak? Absolutely not.
No, God, no.
Cam Ward is elite from Swayze. Do we draft a QB this year or next? If you've got the pick for it and you like a player enough, never be afraid to pick a quarterback.
What about, if you're got a type 5 pick, and that's just not for the first round, that's for rounds 2 and 3 as well.
Yeah, definitely not 4.
Yeah, not 4. But you're sitting there with the opportunity. God dang, that is going to drive me effing nuts.
Yeah, when night 2 ends and you're supposed to wake up and top 5 pick the next day, and you don't.
You know what? I'm not going to talk the whole third round or the whole fourth round.
You're going to protest the Mingo trade?
I'm just going to lay out. No, I hope Mingo's okay. I hope he does. But right now, I mean, it doesn't look very good. Just for the fact that your team's not playing well, and I don't know if Mingo's going to come in here and give you something completely different. He might run a route. He might be able to separate better than what Tolbert did on that interception. I mean, but because you can't let Ringo. We got Ringo for the Eagles. You can't let him just ride you the whole way down.
And he's a big, strong man, but that is a fun part about Mingo. Mingo is a bigger, stronger man. He might just toss some people around. I hope he's fun. I hope he ends up being fun, and that they're right, and that their pre-draft evaluation is what matters, and not what he's done in a year and a half of NFL football.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll see. All right. Thanks, Brian. He's from 105.3 The Fan. I am at DLLS Sports. So we will have my show will be starting here in an hour and a half. So make sure you're following that channel and make sure that you're checking out The Fan, where you get Brian, and everywhere on YouTube. You're on with Vach last night, I would imagine, and you'll be there on Friday, and Brian will be everywhere. How about that? So remember, you people, remember that you have no idea what anyone's going through. So be cool to everyone. We love you. Be easy, or else.